Someone says the thing, the comment with the little smile under it, the email with the polite knife inside. And before you've even decided anything, your face is already hot, your chest is already tight, the reply is already writing itself in your head. You haven't done anything yet, and you've already lost. Because the moment your body reacted, you handed the other person something they could not have taken on their own. You showed them exactly where you can be reached. We are taught the opposite of this. Stand up for yourself. Clap back. Never let anyone disrespect you. And it sounds like strength. But watch what it actually does. You spend the rest of the day replaying it. You draft the perfect response at 2 a.m. You give a single careless person hours of your mind, days of your peace, a piece of your power they didn't even know they'd won. 500 years ago, a tortured Florentine bureaucrat understood why this happens and what to do instead. His name became a synonym for ruthlessness. But strip away the myth, and Niccolo Machiavelli was really studying one question: how power is actually held, and how, without noticing, ordinary people give theirs away all day long. So, let me show you what he actually saw. Start with the thing everyone gets wrong. Machiavelli never wrote, "Never react." That's the bumper sticker version. What he actually wrote in The Prince is colder and more useful. That a person who wants to keep their power must learn how to be not good and to use this or not use it according to necessity. Read that again. Not according to your feelings, according to necessity. The skill he's describing isn't suppression, it's the ability to decouple your move from your emotion entirely. The provocation arrives, and there's simply a gap, and in that gap you decide what serves you, not what your wounded pride is screaming for. He had a word for that quality: virtue. Not virtue in our sense closer to a kind of deliberate, clear-eyed skill. And its opposite, the thing that ruins princes and people alike, is impulse. He drew it as two animals. The prince, he said, must be both the lion and the fox, the lion to frighten off wolves, the fox to recognize the traps, and notice which skill he lists first. Not the strength, the recognition. The fox's entire genius is seeing the snare before stepping in it. Now look at an insult again. An insult is a snare. It is built precisely to make you step forward and reveal yourself. And the person who reacts on reflex, face hot, voice rising, is being neither the lion nor the fox. They are being the third animal in the scene. The hare that bolts the instant the bush rustles, and in bolting tells the whole field exactly where it was hiding. Because here is what your reaction actually is in the cold language of strategy. It's information. When someone provokes you and watches what happens, they are running reconnaissance. They are learning what you defend, what you can't let go, how you behave the second you're under pressure. Every reaction is a map of your interior that you hand them for free. This is why the unreadable person is so unsettling to deal with. You cannot find the lever. You push, and nothing moves, and now you're the one exposed. Because you've shown your whole strategy and learned nothing in return. Stillness isn't emptiness. Stillness is information asymmetry. You see them clearly. They cannot see you at all. And once you understand that, You can see the real machine underneath don't react, the part those endless videos never actually explain. A provocation is a transaction. It is a bid for a very specific currency, and that currency is your reaction. The disrespect only becomes real, only completes when you pay, refuse the payment, and the transaction fails. But it fails in their hand, not yours. They've made their move, spent their little aggression in front of whoever was watching, and gotten nothing back. The silence doesn't just protect you, it leaves them standing there, exposed, holding a gesture that went nowhere. You didn't have to defeat them, you simply declined to fund them. Now, why does the calm one read as the powerful one, not just to Machiavelli, but to everyone in the room instantly, without a word? Because composure is an honest signal. Look at any social animal and you'll find the same pattern. The high-ranking one doesn't startle. It doesn't whip around at every sound. Reactivity is the body language of something that is not safe. Something that has to monitor every threat because it cannot afford to miss one. So when you stay level under a provocation that should have rattled you, the people watching read it in a part of the brain older than language. That one is not afraid. That one has reserves. And you cannot fake that for long, which is exactly why it's believed. The trembling man shouting that he's not afraid convinces no one. The calm one never has to say it. The Stoics' contemporaries had a name for the space where all of this lives. Prudenza. Prudence, but not the timid, hand-wringing prudence we mean today. The deliberate pause to see the entire board before you touch a single piece. Reacting collapses that pause to nothing. In effect, you let the other person reach across and move your piece for you. The whole of power is in widening that gap, stretching the half-second between what happens to you and what you do about it, until it's long enough for you and not your enemy to decide. There's an old line, often put in Napoleon's mouth, but pure Machiavelli underneath. Never interrupt your enemy while he is making a mistake. When someone disrespects you in front of other people, very often they are already discrediting themselves. The room is already turning, and your reaction, the raised voice, the cutting reply, does the one thing that can save them. It drags every eye off their bad behavior and onto your loss of control. Stay silent, and their move keeps landing, but it lands on them. The witnesses finish the work you were aching to do, and they do it far more cleanly than you ever could because it didn't come from you. If you doubt any of this is livable, look at how the man himself lived it. In 1513, the Medici, suspecting him of conspiracy, had Machiavelli arrested and tortured, strung up by his wrists and dropped, again and again, 6 times. Then they threw him out of the city he'd served his whole life onto a small farm in the hills. And what was his reaction to being broken and discarded? By day he traded crude jokes with farmers in the village tavern, and at night he washed, put on the fine robes he'd worn in the halls of state, walked into his study, and his words conversed with the ancient courts of ancient men. There he wrote the coldest, clearest book on power ever set down, and then he dedicated it to the very Medici who had tortured him. That is not weakness. That is the longest non-reaction in history, a man who answered the rack not with rage, but with a masterpiece, and played a game so long his torturers never even saw the board. But here is where you have to be careful, because this is exactly where most people take the wrong lesson. The goal is not to become cold, It is not to flatten your face into a mask and feel nothing, that grey rock, dead-eyed thing people perform online. Because that isn't power, that's fear wearing armor. And suppression always leaks. The clenched jaw, the curt reply you swore you wouldn't send, the conversation you're still having in your head at 2 a.m, going numb, is just reacting on a delay. What Machiavelli is actually pointing at is something warmer and far harder: self-possession. You remain completely able to react. The anger is there, the hurt is real, you feel all of it, and you choose, in the gap, not to spend it here, because the move is yours to make, on your timing, for your reasons, not theirs to pull out of you whenever they tug the string. So the next time it happens, the comment, the email, the little smile, and you feel the heat climb into your face, don't scramble for the perfect reply. Just notice the gap opening in front of you. That heat is not a command, it's a question. And for the first time, you're the one who gets to answer it. Stay still, not because you're afraid to move, but because, finally, nobody can move you but you.